Oh, I don't have nails. Hey, vintage lovers. Do you want a sick deal, you little slut? You sick little slut. Do you want to look like a cool whore?
Not just a hooker, but a cool whore.
An expensive one. An expensive whore.
Like one of those escorts on TikTok.
Yeah. Or like Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman. Do you want to look like that? Look no further than Funny Girl Vintage. Funny Girl. I'm actually wearing this Funny Girl Vintage right now. Can you hear this? You should go to funnygirlvintage.com and buy something. Yeah. Like right now. Like drop. Like,
is there some kind of code I can use?
If there actually is there a code? Yeah.
What's the code?
The code is the word night.
How do you spell that?
Great question. I'm gonna have to refer to someone else for this. Wait 1 sec. Oh, wait. It's N-I-G-H-D. N-I-G-H-D.
N-I-G-H-D.
I know, it doesn't make sense in your head. And it doesn't sound like a real word. But it is, and it's a code. Okay. You can get 10% off.
In this economy.
10% off. 10%. That's a gorgeous little discount.
I think that was the best one yet. Now I feel like I'm shouting.
Yeah. Thank you, Funny Girl, for sponsoring this first episode. It's not the first episode.
The whole episode's an ASMR.
No, we're not. Bitches, we are not doing the full episode in ASMR.
That's what you told me in an email.
Bitch, you don't read your emails, so we know you're lying.
I get them notified to my phone. I actually do.
Okay.
I read them on my notifications, but I don't open them always. Anyway.
All right. Hi, guys. Welcome back to Night School. I'm Jessie Zand.
I'm Alana Cloud Robinson.
I'm Isabella Hunter.
And welcome to hanging out with your funniest and smartest friends.
Ooh.
Emphasis on funny, lowercase
It's on smart. Yeah.
Maybe just do a through line to that.
Okay, I'm just going to start this off light. I don't know if you're going to be able to answer this, but we'll see.
Uh-oh.
What's your favorite Justin Bieber song?
Oh. Whatever one there's like hidden messages in. I don't know.
Whichever
and
is
whatever one he
suicidal.
gives us the Diddy list in.
Someone was telling me about
He's not doing well.
a music video
I
he
know, it's
had that
actually
was like
sad.
alluding to
Not
something.
Diddy, Justin Bieber, just to clarify. Diddy can rot in prison for the rest of his fucking
Yeah,
life.
we don't
I
care
hope
if
he
Diddy's
does.
not doing. In
Yeah.
fact, that's
It's- yeah.
preferable.
That's preferable.
The Justin Bieber stuff is really, really sad, actually.
My favorite Justin Bieber song of this season would be Mistletoe because we're heading into winter.
Oh, that album
Such a banger.
is a banger.
But generally, Purpose was my favorite album because it just happened at such an important time for me. I'm like the same age as him. That album was just special. And I think the song off it I would choose is Sorry. I know it's like basic. It's pretty basic. Okay, Been You.
Oh, I didn't even
Love
know that
that
one.
song.
Oh, wait, I want to change my answer. Where are you now?
Oh, that's such a
Because
good
that song is fantastic
So
if you're in
good.
a certain state of mind.
Yeah,
Always.
that's a
It's
great.
always-
That's
a good party
actually a great.
song.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Where are you now?
I've definitely
that I
been at
need you?
some rich person's house, like dancing that song
I know.
way too late before.
And you're just like, wow, my
Such
life
a
is
vibe.
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
My favorite is All That Matters to Me, which
Ooh,
was a
that's a good
single, and then Fall.
I don't know that one. Can
Fall.
you sing it?
No. Deep cut. Okay, that's all we're playing because I don't want to get. I don't want to get our whole episode taken down. Yeah. Okay. So where are you now? Been You, Fall, and All That Matters. Love it. Okay. Describe your perfect day.
Ugh. Like anywhere or here or what? Be more
Anywhere.
Mm.
In space. At the International Space Station.
Mm-mm.
I
Mm-mm.
never do this, but I would love it to start with like a little bike ride around a quaint town.
Exercise. Your perfect day starts with exercise.
Bike riding doesn't feel like if you're biking to the coffee shop.
Okay.
You know, I'm thinking of like a coastal town.
Mm.
That's a beautiful way to start a day. I'll start there. I don't know. Not every day is the perfect day.
It's very you.
That's very you.
Mine would obviously be in Paris.
Ooh.
A perfect day for me would be, a perfect day starting, I love waking up early. So waking up like 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Would
It's
love
so
to
interesting
go.
that you're also a night owl and a morning
I just don't
person.
sleep. Apparently Trump doesn't either. What about Trump and I have in common? Don't sleep. I used to sleep like 3 or 4 hours a night when I worked corporate for a long time. I felt like a genius, but then it caught up to me. Like, I love being awake. I hate nap. I love being conscious. I love everything about being alive and awake and conscious on planet Earth. I hate sleeping. But I would wake up at 6 after being at Silencio till 5. And then I would love to go to like a yoga class. And then after that, come back, have a coffee, pastry, and write for the next 6 or 7 hours, like really consistently just write. Good stuff to the point where it's like hard to tear away. And then go to dinner with friends and just have one of those like endless sprawling dinners where everybody's laughing and having like a fabulous time. Maybe go dancing.
Yeah,
That'd be a perfect day. But then like go to bed at a reason, like not, stay up too late, not be too drunk, and like leave by like 1 and then start all over again the next day.
Wake up by the ocean, have a slow morning, have coffee, answer emails out on a porch by the ocean. I love how my perfect day involves work. Because it does.
Crazy.
Girl boss never sleeps.
Yeah. Prep for this podcast. Have a stylist come over and dress me for the podcast. Write stand up, like write jokes, like just noodle on some stuff. Go do a spot, then go out with friends and have a hot dog at El Chucho and yap. And then wake up the next day and do it all over again.
Love that.
Sounds good. Okay, I'm gonna change mine actually.
Izzy's like, I go for a bike ride and every day.
Yeah.
Maybe writing. I do love to write. Maybe writing for like a couple hours and then this sounds so boring, but I love a museum or an art gallery. Just like go explore a town. That's really like explore a place I've never been before. That is the perfect day to me. A good dinner. Alana and I have bonded over this. We don't, if I'm correct, we're not into Frenchmen.
I am not into French.
Oh my
I'm not either.
God, I love Frenchmen.
You can have all of them.
I have.
Yeah, you have.
I've been there.
I've never been there.
They love
it's
how
a place
mean I
I don't
am.
need to.
Yeah,
it's the only place where I have thrived because they love how mean I am to them.
I've thrived there because it's an international hub, but I've done better with people of other nationalities.
Like Italian men. Sorry.
That is, I don't understand.
Italian
Way
men.
too machismo.
Oh my God.
Way too machismo.
Love machismo.
I kind of like everybody.
Yeah.
I like
Agnostic.
everybody. Yeah. This feels very fetishy.
We love a little
Taste
flavor.
the rainbow.
We're just getting international up in here.
Yeah.
You know?
Our numbers have spiked in various European countries.
Should we shout out every European country that watches our podcast?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I know Canada, we have 4%. I love
our
Canada.
Canadians. Eventually,
Never
when
been,
we go
but
tour, we'll stop by you guys first because you guys have been showing us a lot of love. All 4% of you.
That's all of Canada. It's just the 4% that watches Night
We have Canada, the United Kingdom, Mexico, Australia. That one worries me. Spain, Italy, Switzerland, France, Russia, Colombia, South Korea, Belgium, Germany, the Netherlands, and New Zealand.
Okay, who in New Zealand, how did you find our podcast? Because that's crazy. New Zealand's basically like...
Yeah, that's cool.
Isn't that so cool?
Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Middle Earth.
It is.
Is it bad that I don't know why I'm starting this episode out like with a boy crazy brain? I was like thinking about the different men from different countries. I was like, hello, South Korea.
Yeah.
Switzerland.
Belgium. World peace.
Meanwhile, there's almost no men in our listeners.
I know.
15%, I think.
Well, you don't like to listen to women yap?
Yeah.
No.
I think most men would love for us to rename this podcast 3 Holes. Let's just be honest.
We have more than that between us.
That's true.
But men don't know that because the men who would say that.
They don't know anatomy.
They don't know anatomy.
Yeah, they don't know anatomy.
They've never seen a woman.
Yeah. Here's another one. What do you think people like most about you, and what do you think they like least?
Again, you're asking me to perceive myself.
Yeah.
And this is like, I think everyone hates me and thinks I'm annoying. And people like nothing about me. And they just put up with me because they
are bored.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, she's a mess. Let's see what.
I can only think about this in terms of people that have the courage to criticize me.
The courage.
You know? And I feel like the people that have had the courage to criticize me, to be perfectly honest, I've been criticized for self-victimization. Like when I go into a hole of depression, like I'm very self-victimizing and unable to see through it and pull myself out of it. Not really being persecuted by others, but I persecute myself.
But that's okay. Sometimes you have to just like let yourself be a victim.
Yeah, it's a little annoying though. I can understand from a bird's eye view how it's really fucking annoying when somebody's like arguably having like a fine time and they're like, my life is so horrible and like nothing about my life is good. You know, like that kind of thing. I think I've been told I talk in circles. My ex used to tell me I talk in circles, and it was really annoying.
I've never felt that way.
I can. You've never dated me. I can talk in circles
That's
in
true.
dating. Because when you're trying to broach like difficult topics, especially in a relationship, and you're like, hey, so
This is true.
when you do this thing, which I totally get, it's like that kind of thing where you're, you know, and then I'll kind of go, and he would just be like, tell me what you're trying to say. So I think that's probably pretty annoying. On the positive side, I think I give relatively good advice, and
I think you give good advice. You're also a friend that I would say like you're a very self-autonomous person. Like you're not a friend who's like
needy.
Yeah. You're not a needy friend.
I'm not. Very
You're not a
needy.
needy friend.
No.
If anything, we have to like check on you to make sure you're
Wellness
alive.
checks,
We have to perform wellness checks on you.
Yes. Well, yeah, I'm like an insect. I go into a cocoon every now and then and have to shed and sort of regenerate. But for that time period in the cocoon, I'm essentially dead to the world. And I'm going to emerge and I will be so pretty when I come out. But for that time period, do not look inside. I am some kind of like mass of just like larva and like skin.
Yeah.
So
Well, you just wrote about this too on your Substack. There was something in your last piece, right, about kind of wanting to like disappear and getting texts.
Oh yeah. How difficult. Just because my birth and the idea that it was funny because my mom actually contested this idea.
This was so funny that your mom's contesting this idea. Was hilarious.
So I wrote a piece talking about how I felt like I have been here before. Like I've always had this sense of sort of like, ugh, not again. Like here I go again from the moment I was born. And my mom said she's seen multiple like sort of past life people who have said that I'm actually on my first life. And that's why things are so hard for me.
But she said because you're so close to source, which I do feel like is true.
So true.
Is so true.
Thank you,
I just
Gina.
love the text though, because you're so close to source.
Funny. She's
Yeah,
like,
of course.
no, this is
Duh.
not.
You're very close to source.
Yeah.
Because
This is
that's
your
why it's so
first
hard
life.
for you.
Yeah.
But I disagree. I really disagree. I really have had a strong feeling. Alexis, when she heard that, she was like, no fucking way. She goes, I disagree. Because
I do
have
think
always
you're
had a feeling.
an ancient woman.
Yeah.
Always had a feeling
You
of
are
being
Walt
here
Whitman
for a very long time.
with a vagina.
Yeah. Now everybody's thinking
Maybe
about
it's
that.
your first life on Earth.
Now everybody's
Maybe
thinking
you
about what I got.
were a celestial being in other lives.
You guys are really gassing me up on the spiritual plane today. So
I know
thank
you're
you.
going to go into guru mode. You leave here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The higher the ponytail, the closer to God.
Facts.
Yes. Side note, do you guys ever watch that documentary about that whole story?
Oh my God, the woman with
Gwen
the giant
Shamblin?
hair.
Yeah.
No, but I know
It was a Christian weight loss, what turned into a bit of a cult, but it was this evangelical Christian preacher, Gwen Shamblin, who passed away sadly in a plane crash. But she had this very high hair, and she used to say the higher the hair, the closer to God.
I mean,
But the
it's
whole
true.
cult was around like using God to lose weight. I watched the whole documentary, and I thought it was very interesting.
Her hair grows, her waist
She was
slims.
tiny.
Yeah, she was
Tiny, and felt that it was a way to better receive the word and that God wanted us to be thin and hot. Because to listen to the actual advice, like it was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't condone it obviously, but it was like interesting because it probably worked if you're like really, really religious. Because it was like, when you're about to pick up that cookie, I'm going to want you to communicate with God and ask God, is this what you want for me? And it's like, if you sat down about to eat a cookie and you like you talk to God and you were like, hey, I'm going to eat this crumble cookie.
Yeah.
Like,
God's like, absolutely
God's
not.
like, no.
No, you're not.
No, you're
You're
not
not.
eating that crumble
Yeah.
That
cookie.
poison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That devilish
Like if you had to ask
food?
God permission before you ate a crumble cookie, there's no way he would give you that permission.
No,
never.
there's
Crumble
no way.
God does
cookies
not
are
approve.
Not my
crumble cookies are
God.
terrible for you.
Crumble cookies.
Crumble cookies?
I have a whole theory on crumble cookies. I think they are I truly, when it comes to conspiracies, I'm like, that is the deep state.
It's kind of peak consumerism.
Yeah.
One cookie is like what, like 1,000 calories?
1,500.
1,500 calories in one cookie. You don't know about this? It's like a thing.
I mean, you take one look at them and it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to figure
No,
or a
but
nutritionist
that's-
to
I
figure
ate
out
one
that
for the
that was
first
like,
time
A
recently.
cookie's like 300 calories normally.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There must be so much sugar in that. It's
Well, I
diabolical.
ate one. Well, it's the butter apparently, which is crazy because I don't know how much butter though can you possibly put in a cookie. I ate one recently. The craziest thing about it is they're mid. They're
Oh
extreme.
yeah,
I
they're
knew
mid.
that
yeah,
they would
yeah,
be.
they're
yeah, total diversion. But anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what do people like about me the most and then like about me the least? I think what people like about me the most is the girl boss energy. Like I feel like that makes a lot of people feel very safe because
Yes.
they're like, you're steering the boat.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
got
rooting for
this.
us.
Mommy's
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, mommy's here. Come to my bosom, I shall protect.
Yeah.
And I also think too, I give good advice. Like on this podcast, it manifests as annoying because we're waiting for the indirect advice, but somebody's got to play the straight man. And
Good cop, bad cop.
good cop, yeah, good cop, bad.
crazy cop.
Good, yeah.
Unlawful cop.
Unlawful cop.
Corrupt cop.
Corrupt cop, yeah. Spit.
Good cop, crooked cop.
Yeah. People dislike about me. I think I can be cold sometimes. I think I can be there's a certain level of like, I have a few things that are really hard for me to like radically accept. One of them is wasted potential. So when I see you not meeting your potential, but you have your own blocks that you don't want to work through.
Virgo.
Yeah, it's really hard for me. But I don't approach it in the you need to be doing this because I know that that's not going to change anything. My approach is kind of just to let you go on your own path, but I understand how that can come off as kind of cold. And then the other one is the other way that manifests, I think, is when you are dealing with an emotional issue and like the answer is pretty clear to like walk away, but you keep engaging and then you come to me and cry about it. It's really hard for me because I'm like, the answer is right in front of you.
That one's hard for me too, to be honest.
Yeah,
That
that's
one's
hard
difficult for me too.
because I'm like, you're self-harming.
Yeah.
And I love you so deeply that I don't want to see you hurt.
Well, my perspective is if you're going to do it and you're going to have the self-awareness to say, hey, I'm going to hurt myself. I'm learning
Exactly.
a lesson. Then do it. I do that. I do that so many times.
Exactly.
But it's the self-harm, coming and needing, receiving the advice, going back, doing it again, expecting to receive that advice over and over and over again.
It's like, do you want us to do it for you?
Well, no, well, after a while, it's like, there's no point in me even saying anything. Just let me know when you're done. And I think I got that from my dad because I'd watch him with girlfriends where like they would kind of do those kind of behaviors. And I watch him just like he just could not tolerate it. And I'm kind of the same way. I take after him with that.
Yeah, my dad has always been like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why are you with him? You know he's a drug dealer. Why are you with him? Like, this is stupid, Jesse. You don't need to be with him. Like, this is bad.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's selling pot. You can do better.
I think people should make their own mistakes, but it's more when people are like, this very obvious thing is not working.
And they need you to help them and advise them.
I need the help. It's like it sounds like you are on a path.
You're choosing
whether
the
it's
wrong
karmic
path,
or whatever. Well, not even wrong. It's just like you're on a path to learn a certain lesson. But that means if you're going to stick to that path, just do it and own it. Mm-hmm. But don't keep coming to me and be like, I'm so shocked it happened again. It's like, yes, well, I did tell you last time that. But I think people are entitled to make those mistakes, but it's more the expectation that people are going to co-sign the mistake and continue to.
I agree. The thing that I would say too is I've been told I have a bad attitude. And I make that other people's problem.
I have been told this as well about myself.
Yeah.
With social stuff sometimes.
Yep. Same.
When I'm not having a good time socially, that was another thing that my ex would get on my case about a lot was like when I was having a bad time socially, I would stick around and just be the ghost at the feast. But I think, with the emotional need underneath that, I think in a romantic relationship was that I really wanted him to I wanted to be taken home. I wanted to be taken out of the situation, and I didn't want to have to leave by myself.
Yeah.
No. Why would you?
So I would just stick around and be like. So.
What's the worst and best thing about you?
Yeah.
What's the worst thing about me? You guys tell me. I really don't know.
I wouldn't say this is the worst thing about you, but I think you're a little delulu. You're a little delulu. Like we were reading some questions, and you were like, this feels like someone sent this in.
Don't say that on here.
I'll cut
it truly could have been.
It's happening right now. It's happening. A little delulu. A little delulu.
Yeah,
paranoid.
No, it's persecutorial anxiety.
What do you mean? What does that
persecutorial anxiety, like
Like
the fear of being like targeted.
Yeah.
Fear
targeted
of being targeted.
Individual.
Yeah. Which can make sense because you were talking
schizophrenic.
about growing up
family.
and being bullied in like
Yeah.
school and everything. So it's not like it's an unfair It's not like an undue anxiety.
But yeah, I think persecutorial. I mean, I am a little delulu, but I think that's kind of like
That's why I
I'm
love
gonna
you,
do
though.
stuff in my life that I
Yeah.
end up doing is because I'm so delusional that I think it will happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's what like truly I'd be
Well, I think it's a
dead
light.
if
I think it's the
wasn't
light side and the
delusional.
dark
Yeah.
side
Exactly.
of the delusion. The light side of the delusion is it allows you to like push forward with wild abandon. The dark side is the fear that dark forces are trying to pull you down.
Yeah.
Like unseen
I'm
forces.
so paranoid. It's crazy.
I also
would know.
but I also love that is I love that about you though, that you're like, because like you texted me the other day and you were like, "Are you mad at me?" And I was like, "Oh, Izzie, like no, I would never be mad at you." Like the fact
No,
that
if
you
someone
like
doesn't like, I don't reply to people's texts for weeks.
Yeah.
But
Same.
if someone
Doesn't answer. I'm the same
doesn't
way.
answer,
If someone doesn't
I'm
answer
like-
me, oh my God. And then
I'm
I'm always
are they
like,
mad at me?
every time I'm like,
which I
this
find
is
very
I'm like, I
endearing.
deserve
will say.
this.
I think it's very sweet because I know you. It means that you care, and
Yes.
that like
Obviously,
you
I
care
I
so
want
much.
my friends
yeah.
to never
I care,
be
but
mad
I'm
at me,
scatterbrained.
ever.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's the scatterbrain thing. But whenever someone doesn't reply, I self-flagellate like crazy because I'm so bad at responding, and I'm like, this is what you deserve. Of course, they're ignoring you.
I will say something funny. I was in New York with my mom once and we were staying in separate places and she left to go uptown one night and I literally reported her missing with the police because she was gone like an hour and she hadn't called me when she got to Washington Heights. So I'm sitting there in this like weird Chinatown Airbnb like on the phone with the police and then they show up and she had called me maybe 5 seconds before that
my
and they
God.
come down and I come down bawling. And I had bought an NYPD sweatshirt from the little stand, so I was wearing it. So I probably seemed like the craziest person in the world. But that is the exact same problem. If I wasn't
If my
expecting my
mom
mom
doesn't
to tell me,
answer, if
she's
my mom,
missing.
I've texted my mom's friends.
Oh yeah, same.
Because my
mom
mom is also my biggest
never-
reply guy. My mom's
Yeah,
constantly texting me,
true.
constantly messaging me,
Same.
responding to everything. So when she gives me a taste of my own medicine, doesn't respond,
What?
I'm like, Mommy.
My mom never responds. My mom never responds, never picks up the phone. It is me and my father's bane of our existence. My dad's like, "Why should I even give you a phone if you're never gonna use it?" Like it is the most frustrating thing in the world. She has a fucking phone and just refuses to pick it up.
That's so
refuses
free.
to use it.
Free
And she also
queen.
texts like a fuck boy. She'll be like, "Kay." I'd be like, "Bitch, I just said I love you."
I could
like,
see that with Terry.
I'm
I
like,
could see that.
she's just like, "I don't have time to like just to respond."
She's
Like,
so
I was
busy.
like,
She's like, KK.
girl, what? But then in person, she's like, "You're the greatest joy of my life. I love you." And I'm like, girl, say that in a text. Like, you can use Siri. Like, say that into the phone. Like, what are we talking about? Like, that bitch will not respond. I called her 6 times the other night because she just wouldn't pick up. And then, so what I do now is when I know she's home and she won't pick up the fucking phone, I call my dad. And I was like, "Hey, Dad, is Mom there?" And he goes, "Yes." "Did she not pick up her phone?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "God, she's so lame." All right, well, we're going to pivot to our advice segment. Thank you guys for submitting your advice questions. Again, keep them coming. tinyurl.com/night school advice. We will answer them weekly on the pod. Okay. I'm a 27-year-old male and have been seeing this girl for about 8 months. I really like her and everything's been going great. I could see myself settling down with this girl. We've had sex 30 times and I've never orgasmed. This hasn't happened with someone I've been seeing consistently. It's gotten to the point now where I'm getting anxious about having sex with her, even though I really do like her. I'm not sure what to do. Any advice?
Keida?
Wait, tell me that again.
God.
He can't
He's not
finish.
finishing.
He really likes this girl, but
And they've
He
had
can't
sex
orgasm?
they've had sex 30 times. He's counted
Yeah.
30
He's
times.
counted.
And he's not is he faking it?
Well, my first question is he circumcised?
Whoa, good question. Can
didn't
we ask
include
him?
that. Didn't include that.
Well, because that's an issue. You know,
If he is or
you-
isn't.
Well, it fucks up your sensitivity.
Oh, when
when
you're
you're
circumcised.
circumcised.
Yeah.
No, and there's a bunch of potential issues, but I would say he's probably watching too much porn.
Oh,
That is it. That's it. You nailed it. It's too much porn. Porn addiction.
that's
Sorry, not to call you
true.
out,
That's
but
really true.
I hate to say it, but yeah.
stop watching porn.
I hate porn. Just want
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
I hate
I
it.
do
I think
too.
it's evil. I think Playboy magazine was the pinnacle of pornography, and we should have stopped there with the centerfold. We don't need to watch video or a really nice, cool sex scene in a movie, something artfully directed. I think it's porn these days is very graphic, and it is poisoning.
I think it's poisoning too.
I don't think if it was like tapes
It
or
has
like
the same effect on your brain as drugs.
yeah.
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 And then
an
you apply
addictive.
that to relationships and sex and how you treat women. That is honestly like when
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, it's so hard to date." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
men,
it's there's two factors, I think. This is different than this particular situation, but there's porn and also in a way like even just Instagram
Yes.
and dating apps.
Mhm.
Because I think for men in particular, women too, but I think that there's now this thing of like someone better could always be one swipe away.
Mhm.
exactly.
So nobody can really concentrate and be present in the moment because there's always this feeling of like, well, what if somebody hotter, thinner, bigger tits, more Instagram followers, like where they're constantly kind of like looking for
Never satisfied.
Never satisfied.
Never
Yeah, yeah.
satisfied.
Because
It's
when you
that-
have endless options,
Yes.
how can you focus on
and your dopamine's always low.
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
you're
something
always
better
like,
could be just around the bend.
Yeah, something better can
Yeah,
always be
and it
around the
makes it
corner.
really difficult, I think, to be present in the moment.
I think the third thing I'll say is he should concentrate on her for a minute.
and
Learn
her,
about
her needs.
orgasms.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
feel like she's fine.
I feel like
She sounds
she's
like
fine.
she sounds like she's okay.
Sounds like she's okay. It's
Okay.
him.
but
she
yeah,
should-
maybe
yeah.
that will help him
Yeah.
to
Well, it
just
sounds
focus
like he should
and make her the
he should
center.
examine his. I think he should examine his habits if it is a porn addiction issue, and if it is, he needs to stop that and maybe have a little bit of retraining.
Mm-hmm.
Go whack it to her pictures.
Yeah. No, use your
Yeah.
Go find her
Use
bikini
your
photos
imagination.
from
Have
her
summer
send you nudes.
2016.
the men who are in war. They don't before porn, obviously. They have to use their imagination. You're out with your bros.
Or that little Victorian picture in a
Yeah,
locket
no,
of some woman in like a high neck
exactly.
collar, and they
Yeah.
were like, "That's so hot!
like
Yeah.
ugh,
Look at those
One-
collarbones."
Yeah. That one button.
Yeah,
look at her lips.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
sexualize like other parts. of
Yeah.
our- not just our,
I also think too, like, you really like her, and this has never happened before. I think to Keida's point, maybe focus on her, but maybe not within the like sexual realm, but like focus on what are the aspects about her that you like? Like, is it just the fact that you have somebody there? Or what are the aspects about her that you
Consistent.
like?
You know what's
Like-
another element of it though that just dawned on me? I think that if there is a porn addiction element, a lot of the time I think what happens to men in particular is when they really romantically have feelings for a woman and they are addicted to porn, they can't sexualize a woman that they legitimize and like see as a human being because porn completely demeans
They
women and they
compartmentalize.
turn them into more like objects, you know. And I'm not even saying that in like in a moral way.
Yeah.
I mean, like genuinely, that's kind of just
Yeah.
what happens. It
Yeah.
becomes like you desensitize. So I remember a friend of mine had a situation like this. She was dating this guy who had a lot of history, sexual history, some elements of the actual porn industry touching his life in a capacity, and he never wanted to have sex with her. And it drove her crazy. And I had the realization one day where I was like, oh, it's because he loves you. And he doesn't equate sex and love because of the way porn has impacted his life. So that could be a huge part of it as well. It's like he's having feelings.
Compartmentalizing, yeah.
He's having feelings for this girl. And he's like, well, I don't want to do that to someone I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
So it's hard to
So cut the porn.
complete.
I've got two more additions here.
Please.
One is just a physical thing. Like if he's really small and she's really wide, that there could be like, so maybe try different positions. If like, no, I mean it sounds funny, but it could be that, and probably not.
The physics, yeah.
And then the last thing, this is a really good one.
Cup the balls.
Aside from that, no, is like if he's jerking off a lot, that's another thing.
Yep.
Like, wait 3 or 4 days. Don't jerk off for 3 or 4 days, because then you'll be
Retain.
way more sensitive than like if you jerk.
Maybe the Australian had a point.
Thank you so
No,
much for
thank you
your
so much.
bravery and
Yeah.
your honesty, and we appreciate you and respect you, and wish you luck
On your journey.
finishing in the future.
Yeah. We hope you do.
We hope you're
Someday.
coming.
If you could be anyone for a day, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh, that is such an
I feel like I know your
interesting
answer.
question. You do? What is my answer?
I mean, I could be wrong. Princess Di.
But not the day she died.
No, talk about
No.
persecutorial
Yeah, that's true.
existence. I would not want to be. I wouldn't be able to handle it. She was so
Yeah, that's
effortless.
true.
I'd be like, is everybody mad at me?
and they'd be
Everybody in
like,
this house
"Yes."
seems really mad at me.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't
Maybe
think I
Queen
could do that.
Elizabeth. I don't know. I don't respect anyone enough to want to be them. Bob Hope, he's dead. I would love to be Bob Hope for a day.
I don't respect anyone enough to be them.
That's a crazy one.
I know. I was obsessed with Bob Hope. When I was 7, I did like my school project on him. I was like weirdly one of the few male comedians, period. Like I don't like them. Bob Hope, icon. Maybe Blondie. I don't know. A pop star, but like a cool one. Taylor Swift. Just to like have her weird looking cat for a day.
Yeah. God, that is a really tough one. I was going through a crazy like different like lists and different reasons.
Yours, Jesse. Sabrina Carpenter.
No.
Walk a mile in those platforms.
I was thinking like someone, like if I could be anyone, like I'd kind of want to see what it would be like to live in like a different time. Like Cleopatra.
I haven't even thought about that. Joan of Arc.
Yeah, I think
I would be Joan of Arc for a day.
I would be Cleopatra.
Love.
Yeah. Because then I die with my lover and like in a suicide pact. That seems hot. Also, I would just like love to rule. I think I'd be a really good leader.
Yeah, she was a girl boss.
Yeah,
That's
she was
like
a girl boss.
OG girl boss.
Yeah.
I'd love to be Leonard Cohen back in the day.
That's
Because he
such a
was
good
just like,
one.
he was so hot. And like, he's really one of my favorite artists and poets of all time.
He's
and
the greatest.
he was cleaning up and doing so for, I think, for very good reason. So I would have loved to be Leonard Cohen for just a bit.
Or I'd want to be like JT from City Girls for a day. Like I just would want to see what that's like. Like, well, what was that like?
That's such a great answer.
Like JT from City Girls, or like, and like maybe when they were touring as City Girls, like pre the breakup, like I would have just loved to see what that was like.
Okay,
Just
I'm also now thinking of like all the people we chose at a dinner party.
Can I be Trisha Paytas for a day?
That was gonna be my other
really?
one. Yeah.
Such a good one.
I just want to see what her day looks like.
I want to
Me
be
too.
Malibu Barbie.
I just wanna see what her
like
day
her
looks like.
child.
Yeah, her child. Yeah.
I want you to be Trisha Paytas.
I would be
Me to be
so like
Malibu.
what
Wanna be the
what does
husband?
her morning routine look
Yeah.
like?
Oh, it's different every day.
Oh,
I'm
100%.
sure.
Yeah.
Like she's truly one of the last originals, I feel.
Yeah.
'Cause
Or
she's-
Paris Hilton.
Her life seems boring to me.
Yeah.
Like repetitive. But maybe.
Bethany
Yeah.
Frankel.
Whoa.
What does Bethany Frankel do in a day?
Oh,
Whoa. She
yeah.
has shit
Girl
to complain
boss.
about.
Yeah.
Shit to eat.
She's also hanging out with Tim Dillon now, so 100%
Yeah,
that'd be
I would.
sick.
But I also
love to
feel like
walk
she's
a mile.
so like kind of manic, and like I feel like she really exercises a lot. So I feel like being in that body, like the energy,
Yes.
like you just wake up like
Yes,
rearing to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No coffee, some kind of green juice, and then you just like go down to Rodeo and start talking shit.
And
Yeah.
yell at someone.
And
Yeah,
yelling at
and then go to like
someone.
a dinner where you like
Get in a
where everybody
fight.
goes quiet because you say something really fucked up, and then
Yeah.
you like take an Ambien and
Where's
go
the
to sleep.
skinny girl margarita?
Yeah, I'm changing. Okay, my official answer is Bethany Frankel. I would like to be Bethany Frankel for a day.
Joan of Arc.
Cleopatra / JT from City Girls.
Perfect. Something that really says something about all of us.
I
in
think
a
so
way.
too.
agree.
It's beautiful. The range that each of us provides.
Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, Bethany Frankel.
The three of them would be unstoppable on a podcast. Too bad.
Yeah.
Is there something about yourself you wish you could change? Why or why not?
I wish I could be a little bit more delusional, to be honest.
Listen, keep hanging out with me. Like I can
Yeah.
say things to you now that I know.
She's
that'll,
really
like,
good at
help
it,
you be more
actually.
Yeah.
delusional.
But it's like things that are close at hand, like any kind of career thing or life thing that's
know what?
close. I can be delusional about like the future in 10 years.
Yeah.
And anything that's close up that I want or want to strive for, I'll find any reason to.
So do you struggle with the fake it till you make it thing?
Yes.
I think I've had a very unique way of seeing how delusional people can be. And
It can be very, very beneficial. Being a bit too practical you can reason why things won't happen to the ends of the earth
totally.
and why you shouldn't try.
But I've always found that fake it till you make it mentality has always served me, because even when I've bitten off more than I can chew, I've learned something from it. Even in my most like damning failures, I've learned something from it. And they weren't ever like, nothing burned down. What do you have to lose by faking it? Like I didn't really lose anything even in those moments where I said I could do more than I really could. I wish I could be less afraid of giving up control of my feelings, feelings of I think I've let go of outcomes a lot. Like, I think this podcast has been a really good exercise at that, where I'm like, when people tell me they've listened to the podcast, like, I'm surprised. Like, I truly we put this out, and I'm like, fuck it. Like, no, I put this out with, like, as if no one could hear it.
Yeah.
Truly, that's how I, like, approach it, which, you know, to Kristen's point last episode, maybe need to start really reconsidering
just
doing
be a
that.
little conscious of your digital footprint, but, you know,
I am.
whatever.
But
you
I
are.
am. But I think I would love to be able, I guess to Izzie's, I would love to be a little bit more delusional when it comes to, like, love. Because I am such a pragmatist when it comes to that. Like,
I'm delusional with love. I can help you with that.
yeah. Can you mainline some of that into me?
You'll help me be delusional with career.
Yeah.
I'll help you to be delusional.
Because
with
I'm
love.
truly all around delusional. There's not one sector of my life. Maybe that's what I would change. I would be more
a little less delusional.
That's
No.
gives me
No,
my charm.
that's your
Superpower.
charm.
Maybe less of the persecutorial delusion.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I think.
Yeah.
I need less
Yeah.
paranoia.
Paranoia. Yeah.
If I could be less paranoid, that would be great. But now I'm starting to recognize my paranoia as paranoia. So what happens is I'm about to smoke weed or something. Like, I smoked one puff of an infused joint the other day, and I was like, this is going to make me go crazy. But I was conscious of it when it did.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, now I'm having like real
Intrusive
real
thoughts.
paranoia.
Yeah. Real intrusive thoughts.
But I know it's this.
Yeah.
So I was able to kind of like chill out.
I think
Anyway,
that's I've seen me help you in this way,
Yeah.
and that, like, because you'll get your prosecutorial anxiety, and I'll look at you and I'll be like, bitch, no one's thinking about this.
No.
And she'll be like, yeah, you're right.
General. Yeah, no, truly. If I find myself getting paranoid that like people are like subtweeting me or this or that, when like, if they actually are,
They're obsessed with you.
that's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
They're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, how flattering that they're thinking about you that
I
much.
know.
Like, you're
Yeah.
They're
I'm-
probably not. I'm delusional.
Yeah. But also, too, I think you've helped me a lot with this, too, though. Like, the mentality of, like, hey, if they're hating on you, you're doing something right. Like,
We love haters. I wish everyone would understand this.
yeah,
you want
don't
haters. I know
talk
you
about our
don't.
girl. Don't talk about our girl. But
Yeah,
you're
don't come for
now-
Alana.
Yeah.
But if
Well, certain things I can handle. Certain things I can handle for sure.
Like, someone commented on our YouTube, the Brainless podcast, and Izzie and I were like,
that's funny to me. See,
yeah,
that's funny to me.
hilarious.
But the one, it wasn't even that it bothered me. It just, I think the thing that makes me the angriest is when I'm misunderstood. That's the hardest thing for me to let go of.
yeah,
I agree.
that's-
When my point
Valid.
or my person in any way is misunderstood. And there was an article I wrote, an essay about dating, where this woman was like, I think I've mentioned this before. This woman was, it was fiction, but it was about, the character was very insecure, because I like writing these characters who kind of display like the darker elements of insecurity that like women aren't usually allowed to be, which is like jealousy and the things we all experience but aren't written
Yeah.
as much.
Mhm.
The protagonist is this very insecure girl, and there's like a line in the very beginning where she like looks at a hostess at the restaurant she's at and is like assessing her and her body and comparing and whatever. And I got this comment, and it was so obviously fiction, but I got this comment that was like, you know, quoted that line and was like, you know, girl, you're literally a model. Like, you know, you should have some self-esteem, and like, you young people. And it wasn't that it was a comment that wounded me so deeply I couldn't handle it. It was like, you didn't get it.
Yeah.
So I had to respond, and I responded and said like, oh, that's so interesting you say that. You know, this is fiction, but I think it's natural and normal for people to have insecurities. And I was like, you know, and if there's something, you know, maybe this isn't your cup of tea, I might suggest you try Ruby Kaur. And that was that. I left it there.
very tasteful.
But that also, I so relate to that, because when I'm misunderstood, or my point, I think more my point,
Yes.
my, like, the intellectual argument I'm making.
Yeah. If you get it and you hate it and you think I'm an idiot and whatever, fine.
I can take that. I can take that
But
any
if you
day.
don't get it and you make, and it's the commentary where it's like, especially when it's comments, like social media stuff, where it's like an entire evisceration of your character on the basis of something that is like, that you could very easily refute, and you're like, let me just get it. You're
Yeah.
wrong. You're
Yeah.
wrong. You're actually wrong. You're wrong. I made like a TikTok one time, and someone responded and was like, you're a narcissist or something. Cause I like made a TikTok about how like, it was like my type, and it was just like pictures of Tim Dillon and James Gandolfini over and over again.
that comment didn't even make sense.
But it was like, because
That
the whole
comment-
premise of the like me versus my type thing was supposed to be like the, you know, the juxtaposition of like somebody who felt they were conventionally attractive with like a less conventionally attractive,
Yeah.
you know, counterpart. So she was like narcissist, and it was like, that's like stupid. So I was able to like laugh at that because it's just like, okay, like when it's something like this woman being like, you should have some self-esteem, but that wasn't even the point. Yeah.
Being misunderstood is the most frustrating thing when it comes to receiving criticism. I completely agree with you guys, because otherwise it's like, sure.
Yeah.
Or if it's like an incomplete thought. Because obviously I made a mistake recently and hurt my own feelings reading something I shouldn't have read that you guys were privy to.
Yeah.
Read something I shouldn't have read about some writing of mine. And that was difficult to read because I wanted to call her on the phone. I wanted to drive to her house, hold her at gunpoint and ask her why. Not in a violent way. Just as a way to compel her to speak.
Yeah.
This is not, there's no way this is going off. I'm not going to shoot you, but please do tell me everything. I need you to unpack all of your criticisms of me and explain exactly why. Could you actually pull it out and tell me the exact line and what the details were of that, just so I can improve? I just really want to improve. Please, I just want to improve. So that does also happen sometimes when it comes to my art. But it's because I just want to know why. Just tell me why.
I just want answers.
I just want answers. Just tell me why.
That's always the hardest part too. And in stand-up, I find it too. Like when I'm writing with other comics, I find myself like I'll get notes on things and or it's not in my voice. Like I'll get a punch up and it's like not in my voice, and like the intention behind it isn't my emotion behind the piece. And you're like, okay, thank you, but like, no.
That wasn't it.
That's not it. And then you feel bad because now you're shitting on their writing. Yeah. And you're like, fuck. And then that's always a weird dynamic because you're like, oh no.
A punch up is where they suggest something to you?
Yeah, they suggest.
Like, oh, this is good, but how about you do blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I have this all the time with writing because my boyfriend helps me work out ideas a lot of the time. We were having this yesterday. It helped me break through creatively. But every suggestion he made, I was like, that is stupid. I love you so much. That is so dumb and that will not work. And you're an idiot for saying that. But I appreciate that you're helping me. Next one. And then it becomes a little bit of like, that's not me. Do you think that's me?
Yeah. And it's
do you think that's me?
Yeah. Do you think that's
something I would do?
Yeah. Do you think that's my voice? Like, do you think that's my intention? And then it becomes a little like, I think it becomes like the prosecutorial anxiety because you're like, is that really what you think of me?
Yeah.
Oh, you think that I would be that shallow.
So we can all handle criticism unless you come for something that we're creatively involved in and that we devolve and turn into crazy people.
Yeah. That's why this podcast works, because you guys can keep shitting on it, but we all share it.
This is free reign.
Yeah, this is free range.
Physical appearance, that's the thing too, is like physical appearance, come the fuck at me. I have English teeth. I'm conscious. Somebody's told me this before, okay? Yeah, lay it on me. Trust me. I know. Yeah. I look English. I've heard. Yeah. So.
Or Blake Griffin.
Or like Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin.
I look like an English Blake Griffin.
Even if a note doesn't like resonate with people, I truly just ignore it. I don't even like defend it. I'm just like, okay, that's not it. But if someone, I love criticism. Like I love like getting my writing, like even though it's mine, and they're not going to actually rewrite anything for me. Even if I don't use what they say, it makes me think. Just like you said about Frank, how like none of his answers, like it helped you break through creatively, right?
Yeah, because it was like I needed an opponent in that moment to work out my shit.
I always
so he kept suggesting things, and it helped me get to this. It was for a turning point of the conversation that needed to happen. It helped me break through to what it actually was, and I was like, oh my God, thank you for your service. Yeah. Thank you so much. I actually like giving constructive criticism because I like giving, especially when it comes to writing. I really love giving writing criticism.
I love doing that with comedy.
Because I've received criticism that's not been helpful before.
Yeah.
And I think I've become really good at understanding what I would like to hear.
Yeah.
Because you need to look at something, with writing in particular, you need to look at something and understand their voice and give them appropriate notes, like you were talking about with comedy, for their voice. Yeah. So I'm not going to give you a note for something that would make it sound like me. Right. I need to give you something that will help expand on it's still going to be somewhat subjective because I'm reading it. Totally. But I'll notice something and go, oh, this really stands out. I think you could expand on this point. Maybe it could go in this direction. Give people options. This direction, this direction, this direction.
That's exactly how I approach it. I love doing that too. That's my favorite thing when in workshop when I'm doing comedy is to be like, you can go off on this tangent here with this, and I think this would be really funny, and I want to hear your take on this. And then or that.
It's best when you, as the person giving critique do not have a solution to the problem.
Yes, I completely
Because
agree.
if you do have one in your head, then you're gonna kind of be like unconsciously steering them in a certain direction.
You want to question it and throw out as much.
But that's why, exactly. It's like a question. What's going on here? I would love to see if we could expand on this, and then they can actually surprise you with the response.
So thank you guys for joining. Please do give us feedback. You can write us at nightschooldropouts. nightschooldropouts@gmail.com for any sort of constructive
or comment on
or comment
literally anywhere where you can. The world is a comment section now, so just let it anywhere.
Or you can submit questions and feedback at tinyurl.com.
See us on the street and shout at us.
Yeah, shout
just
us.
English teeth.
Delusion.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Tiny and horny.
We'll take it.
We'll take it all.
I'll take it.
Thank you guys so much for joining. This has been the Night School Podcast, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.